Wow. You guys has come. Welcome. Jai Hind, Namaskar, Jai Shri Ram. Okay, so today's topic is parathyroid. So, if calcium, phosphate, and serum alkaline phosphate, everything is normal, then it is osteoporosis. That means you remember like this in pork, going something and they become normal. So everything is normal in osteoporosis. Understand? मैंने दिल से कहा ढूंढ लाना खुशी ना समझ आया गम तो ये गम. Okay, it's fine. And if calcium is normal, phosphate is also normal, but SAP increased a lot. Paget disease. So you remember like this, if in question Paget, something heavy. So if SAP increased a lot, more arrows on SAP, then it's Paget disease. But calcium phosphate is not. Okay. Now, if calcium is increased, phosphate is increased, and parathyroid hormone, it is also increased, then it is tertiary parathyroidism. Tertiary, bada, big. PTH increased, calcium increased, phosphate increased. Understand? If calcium decrease and phosphate also decrease and PPH increased, SAP increased, then it is osteomalacia, vitamin D deficiency, and rickets. So, okay. So you understand in ricket, calcium decrease, everywhere. If calcium decrease, phosphate decrease. But in these conditions, osteomalacia, vitamin D deficiency, and rickets both decrease. Understand? You can say rickets is a thin bone and it's a kind of disease. So decrease. So calcium decreased, phosphate decreased, but PPH increased and SAP increased. Understand? Say if both increased and parathyroid increased, then tertiary hyperparathyroidism. If both decreased or PPH increased, then this osteomalacia and vitamin D and rickets. Okay. Now, if calcium increased, phosphate decreased, and SCP increased, it is primary hyperparathyroidism. You know, primary hyperparathyroidism. Obviously, uh, calcium increased and phosphate decreased. Secondary hyperparathyroidism, calcium decreased and phosphate increased, SAP also increased. So primary and in secondary and in tertiary, in all the cases, no, in primary and secondary, SAP increased. Okay, understand now? It's okay. Okay, now hypoparathyroidism. Obviously, PTH decreased and phosphate increased. Hypo PTH increased, decreased, phosphate increased. Pseudo hypoparathyroidism. Pseudo hypoparathyroidism. In this case, PTH increased and phosphate increased. False, then both the values increased. So it's okay. Okay, now I have a question. In primary hyperparathyroidism, associated with which adenoma? Pituitary adenoma. Secondary hyperparathyroidism associated with chronic kidney disease. ये पूछेगा, ये this question may ask in exam. Primary pituitary, secondary CKD. Secondary CKD, primary pituitary. Now this is the time of the question. Calcium increased, phosphate increased, PTH increased. Tertiary hyperparathyroidism. Calcium increased, phosphate decreased, PTH increased. Primary hyperparathyroidism. Calcium decreased, phosphate increased, SAP increased. Secondary hyperparathyroidism. Calcium normal, phosphate normal, SAP massively increased. As we say, SAP increased, Paget's calcium phosphate normal. So मैंने दिल से कहा ढूंढ लाना खुशी ना समझ आया गम तो ये गम ही नहीं मैंने दिल से कहा ढूंढ लाना खुशी हो ना समझ आया गम तो ये गम ही नहीं मैंने दिल से कहा ढूंढ लाना खुशी ना समझ मैंने दिल से कहा ढूंढ ला